ends.
So Lebanon got a couple of new people in. Back to pass, looking out in a flat. There's a man wide open, and he undershot him. And the reason for that was because Inslee Hagan was chasing him down and smothered him. Incomplete.
Great pressure by Inslee Hagan, folks, as Inslee, the senior, a fresh defensive end, a fresh body gets in there. Really put the pressure on the quarterback, Davenport.
Incomplete. Davenport's had a tough night. Oakland's 1-3. They've had a tough year. 27-2. They beat Hendersonville by 1. That's their only win. Take the ball and then run that tailback, and this time they've changed tailbacks. He crossed the 35 and got up to the 37, and they've got the tailback in now, Tommy, and that's number 86, and who is it?
That's Dan France. That's the kid. He was injured earlier in the season. They've gone back to France at tailback in place of McHenry.
It's 3rd down and 7. He got 3 out of that. Split on a wide receiver to the right, and their flanker also comes to the right. He's pretty wide, too, and an eye sit tight end on the left, back to pass. Here comes Hasty. Here comes Inslee Hagan, the senior, smothers him for the sack. Back on the 23-yard line, Inslee Hagan.
Great pass rush by the senior, Inslee Hagan. They got him in the obvious pass situations to put that quickness to work, and he went just straight at the quarterback, Davenport. Big sack on the play, Terry, a lot of negative yards.
Minus 14 on the sack. That's going to set up a 4th and 21 for Oakland.
Oakland was in this thing for the longest time. We've scored 3 touchdowns now in the fourth quarter, and there's still 6.5 minutes to go. Low snap, picked up, punts off the side of the foot. It will hit up on the 40 and roll out of bounds down here on the 42. It came off the side of his foot, went across the 50, hit on the 45, and went out of bounds on the 42. But he was kicking with a wind behind him, Terry. What'd he get?
From the 23, Bruce, it goes out of bounds at Lebanon's 42. He got 35 yards on the punt. Lebanon takes over on their 42. 6:19 left in the ballgame.
Triplett checks in at quarterback. Lebanon 27, Oakland 2. 25-point lead. Next week, we travel up to the Cookeville on the campus of Tennessee Tech, where we'll take on the Cookeville Cavaliers in a district game, and we say they're better this year. I think they're 3-1. Take the ball, and they'll run that cross to Moss, and Moss is outside at the 40 to the 45, and Moss got to the 49 and close to the 50. Moss got about 8 out of that, running that cross play where we pull that guard and tackle, and he got to the 50, and let's give him 8.
And Dan France with a hit-on reader that borderlined on being just a little bit late. And you can watch and see if maybe Sellers or one of those other big guys on that Lebanon offense tries to take care of their little friend, Jason Reeder.
Moss checks out, holding his hand, and Sellers is the tailback. Take it, give it to Rose. Rose, first down, got 5. Then he got really hit hard on the 45. Steve Rose on that trap again. He got hit hard on the 45, but he got a first down. It's 27-2, and some of the crowd begins to leave as Lebanon's going to go 5-0.
John, it's got to be a happy place on that Blue Devil sideline as we've just exploded here late in the football game.
Tom, I tell you what, it's been a game of emotional highs and lows, especially in the second half with all these turnovers.
A lot of turnovers in the second half and a few flags, several of them too. Take the ball, and we run the sweep to Moss, and Moss cuts it in, and he spins and twists, and he's still going. Whistle didn't blow. Moss 35, 30, 29. Great effort. They never got him down. He almost broke that thing. If he could just spun out of there, he'd have been gone. Charles Moss, what's he got, Terry? Pretty good yards tonight.
That was 16 yards on that run, Bruce. Now 12 carries, 98 yards. Maybe he'll get another carry and be the first Lebanon back to go over the 100-yard mark this season.
Should we sit down on the bench and tell him he needs 2 yards, or just shut up? We'll shut up. It's on the 29-yard line. 4:35. Moss has got 98 yards rushing. Takes the ball, he sweeps. He's trying to get outside. There's a flag on a play, and he lost some of that 98 back as he got knocked down on a 33, I think. There's a flag where you usually see holding. Moss got knocked down. He lost about 3 or 4 out of that. That'll send his yardage back. They'll probably take the penalty anyway. It's holding Lebanon. Let's see what the penalty is, and let's see if they take it. They lost, or we lost, from the 29 or 29 and a half back to the 33, lost 4. Let's see what the captain of Oakland does. He's going to take the, what's he doing, John, taking the penalty?
Oakland's going to take the penalty, go against the Blue Devils. We had a holding call, right? The back judge called it, so had to be something back in probably around the linebackers or even behind the linebackers.
The penalty will come from the 33-yard line, and it'll go back to the 43, and that'll make it first down and a long ways to go. We've got to go to about the 19 and a half. So Moss still needs a couple of yards for 100. Lebanon leading with 4:12 and the clock runs. Late in the game, Lebanon 27, Oakland 2. 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Triplett runs the draw to Sellers. Sellers twists and turns and fights across the 40 to the 37-yard line. Gage Sellers, the tailback, gets about 4, 5, or 6 out of that. Across the 40 to the 38, they'll say. 3:42, Moss checks back in. Stone Sapper comes with him.
Luke Shepard has been in there at the fullback spot for the Blue Devils. So Shepard, the lone running back, as Lebanon goes with that wide set. One running back.
Shepard's a setback. They take it and run Shepard on a trap, and he pounds and twists and gets 2 yards to the 35. And it's third down. We've got to go to the 20. 3rd and 15. Lebanon sending a whole new team in. All subs check in. Moss will not get that 100 yards.
Lebanon has got Brooks Cherry in the football game. Charlie Lambert. Stone Cipher is in the football game. Reeder will be the quarterback for Lebanon. The tight end will be Jeff Gannon, as Coach Mark Medley gets a curtain call for his number 1 offense. In there at a guard position is Shane Woodall, and we'll get caught up here in just a moment.
Moss is still in there, by the way, folks. He could get it. Here's a sweep to Moss. Moss getting outside, cuts it back in. He got a 5-yard 6. He went over the century mark. Got down to the 29, I think. Terry, did that carry him over?
You're right, Bruce. 6 yards on that carry. That'd put him up to 101 on the night.
So Charles Moss, senior tailback, first back this year to go over the century mark, and he got 101, and they're going to punt. It's 4th down. We need 9. And the clock says 1:58, and we may even take a delay of game here and run it on down. I think that's what we're going to do. Charles Moss picks up about 5 on that play and got to 101 yards.
John, you can pass the word along. Charlie has gone over the 100-yard mark. And first time a Lebanon back's done that this year. Lebanon stuck with the delay of game penalty. Going to give Tressler a little more room to kick, and he's going to try to pin Oakland up down around their goal line with 1:43 to go in this football game.
Back to punt. Tressler stands on the 48. 1:43. Lebanon took a 5-yard delay of game penalty. Snap is back. A good snap. The punt's away. That one will hit on the 20 and hit a Lebanon man and then roll dead on the 19. Actually hit a man on the 18 or 19. Kicking into a strong wind. Todd Tressler kicks it down to the 19-yard line. Terry?
Bruce, only 15 yards on that punt, punting into a strong wind. That's where Oakland will take over. 1:34 left in the ball game.
Ball is on a 19. 90 seconds to play. Oakland out of the huddle. They've not been very successful against pass in the football. C plays very deep. He's the free safety. Man in motion is the flanker. We back our linebackers way out of there and back our ends off too. Back to pass, looking way down the field. He's going to be sacked by Bryson. Bryson came through and sacked him back on about the 7 or 8. Their stats have got to be well back there low this half because they've had several people sacked.
Well, that was Davenport's second sack of the night. This one all the way back to the 9. He loses 10 more on that. 2 sacks tonight, minus 24 on the ground. And they don't have a lot of positive yardage on the ground tonight.
Great effort by the senior, the pass rush specialist, if you will, John Bryson, in there to make that tackle.
Only 30 seconds, and he faked it, and he bootlegged it, and he run it, and he carried it across the 15, and Oakland maybe just satisfied to go home 27-2 as he got to the 17. And he got knocked down, and the clock runs with 16-15. Oakland may just stay in a huddle, and let's see. 10 seconds to play. They may have time for one more play. They're down 27-2. Next week will come 7:30 kickoff. Tape delay in the morning, back to pass. Long one down the middle. It's going to be intercepted. Mo Thompson on the 50, and he knocked him back to the 48, and the game is over. Lebanon picks off another pass interception. Mo Thompson looked like he was calling for a fair catch to intercept that one. And the game ends. The final score, Lebanon 27, Oakland 2.